Hello, everybody. Jill Trotterman here with Feeding the Family. I'm rolling solo today, so thanks for joining me. I appreciate your attention, and I'm always open to hear what you want to learn about and what kind of guests you want me to have on the show. We're streaming live from Santa Cruz, California, and I'm here talking today about mindfulness. We talked a little bit about pesticides and what you can do to be an activist in your food world. Also, how you can support your kids on getting off of the cell phone addiction. I know I have my own little ish to work on. Okay, now I want to switch gears a little bit, you guys, and get into immune building. Now, holiday times are coming. We're going to be around a lot of our loved ones, hugging and kissing and eating and drinking and having a great time. So before you get sick, now is the best time to boost your immune system. I'm going to share with you guys a recipe about making elderberry syrup. It couldn't be easier, but medicinal herbs are really a fantastic way to incorporate into your health routine because they can actually help build your system, your nourishment, your adrenal glands. They can help detoxify your liver, help support your lungs, help support your digestive tract, and herbs have been used around our planet for thousands and thousands of years. There's a Chinese proverb that says, "The man is not sick because he has an illness. He has an illness because he is sick." So we do know that herbs are effective, they're affordable, they're easy to use, and they're certainly easy to grow and absolutely easy to make at home. You can make them as tinctures, use them as teas, and certainly there's millions out there in the marketplace. I've got lots of recommendations. Anyone can just hit me up. In fact, Benedictine Herbs, they came into my studio and they're a fabulous manufacturer. I just gave you guys a little shout out. Okay, so I became fascinated with plant medicine years and years ago, and I do love to use these herbs. And I did get a cold the other day, and I should have heeded my own warning. So here's my warning to myself and to everybody else. Make your elderberry syrup today. Now, elderberries, they've already bloomed and they've already made their fruit, and the trees right now are losing their leaves. So you either have to get them dry or maybe you've frozen your berries. So let's pretend you have frozen berries in the freezer like I do, and I'm going to make them this weekend. Before I get into the whole thing about elderberries, I did want to share a few other herbs that are really wonderful to have in your medicine cabinet to build your immune system, to respond to bacterial infections and microbes and all that kind of stuff. So other ones like adaptogenic herbs. Adaptogenic herbs are things like licorice, ashwagandha, rhodiola. Now these are things that help build up our central nervous system. And they're adaptogens because they go to all parts of your body and they help create resilience, I would say. Those you can take all year round. Then there's other herbs that you want to take as a preventative before you get sick. And that would be things like echinacea, astragalus, and eleuthero. That would be eleutherococcus. So those are some really strong, pungent herbs that are going to help prevent illness. And then if you do get sick, you can incorporate fennel, ginger, black seed, which is nigella, rose hips, which is loaded in vitamin C. Maybe your roses are going to seed right now. You can go collect your own rose hips. Fenugreek, that's a little delicious seed that tastes like vanilla. It actually smells like maple syrup. And then of course elderberry, and elderberries are definitely an antioxidant. Antioxidants are things that are containing phytonutrients. Phytonutrients are the plant chemicals that give plants their resiliency, and then they translate them to us humans. So why are elderberries in particular important? Well, when we're making elderberries, first of all, everyone should know that the berries, the leaves, and the stems are poisonous. So never just go munch on elderberries. You have to cook them first because the seed contains cyanide. So that's kind of a big thing to know. The the flower itself, those are not toxic. So that's the one part of the plant you can actually eat right off or make a tea from. But everything else, including the elderberry syrup, I'm going to share the recipe right now, you definitely have to cook the berries. So for people who want to geek out with me, it's the botanical name is Sambucus nigra, and it's in the plant family Caprifoliaceae. And it's a carminative and a bitter and hepatic, so that's good for the liver. All right, we know that it has vitamin C, B1, B6, and all these good phytonutrients like quercetin and the anthocyanins and the flavonoids and alkaloids and all those good things. You can impress your friends at your next cocktail party. Now, like I mentioned, it does have the cyanins, so you have to cook them. So, they help prevent free radical damage. So there's an ORAC scale, the oxygen radical scale, oxidative. So these elderberries help, like cranberries, reduce those oxidative stresses. And I just want to see, I'm looking on my thing, it's an antiviral, these are anti-inflammatory, and they help reduce the inflammatory cytokines that are found in our bloodstream when they float around. Okay, so they definitely help reduce our coughs, aches, pains, nasal congestion. It will improve your quality of sleep and mucus discharge. Doesn't that sound great? And elderberries have been statistically known to reduce a cold and flu by 7 days. By 4 days compared to the whole 7 days. Alrighty. So these are so good to make. So what are you going to do? You're going to find your elderberries wherever you've procured them. You're going to get a pot of water. You're going to add the elderberries to the pot. And then you're going to cover the pot with water. And then there's going to be so many delicious different herbs, other herbs that you can add and spices to your concoction. The things that you can add to your elderberry syrup are things like cloves, cinnamon, ginger, orange peel, wild cherry bark, I mentioned rose hips before, and cardamom pods, or you can use the seeds of the cardamom. So those are all really going to add a lot more flavor and depth to the elderberry itself. These are going to just add more yumminess to it. You can also add things like echinacea, and that's going to add a little bit of a bitterness to it. So be careful what flavor profile you want to go for, okay? Because echinacea is very, very strong tasting, and then you could also add the schizandra berries. So hopefully that's not sounding too complicated, but basically you want to get 1 cup of dried organic elderberries or 2 cups fresh. That would be what you're looking for. And then teaspoons of the cinnamon chips, teaspoon of the cloves, a teaspoon of dried ginger, a tablespoon of the orange peel, a tablespoon of the cherry bark, and 1 tablespoon of the rose hips, and then about 10 little cardamom seeds or pods. You're going to smash those up. So you're going to take a pot of water, put all of those ingredients in it, and then you're going to bring everything to a boil for first bring it to a boil, and then you're going to turn it down to a simmer for about 30 to 40 minutes. All right, and that's going to just bring out all the goodness from those herbs and spices. After you do that, you're going to pour the mixture. Maybe you're going to want to let it cool down a minute. And you're going to pour the mixture through some, not mullein, what's it called? I'm forgetting the cloth that you want to push it through, or a sieve, into some sort of a glass pitcher or a ceramic bowl or stainless steel. All right, you're going to smush the berries and you're going to get all the good liquids out of that. So get that through, and then in that you're going to discard all of the food parts, and then you're going to add in to that whole mix, that pure, delicious, bright red juice mixture. You're going to add into that 2 cups of your favorite local raw honey. Now, you want to make sure that your mixture is cooled down, and you never want to heat or boil the honey because it will kill all the good bacteria, all the good nutrients in the honey. So you want to make sure that that's also nicely cooled down. And what the honey is going to do, it's going to add a little sweetness to it, and it's also going to act as a preservative. So once you have all that, you can pour it into individual jars. And that should make about 5 cups of syrup, enough to fill up a quart. And you can share this with your family and friends. And for an extra little holiday fun, you can definitely add some brandy to it, because that will be a fun thing to add. So elderberries are a really fabulous plant, and they're quite the trick to harvest. If anyone's ever harvested elderberries, drop me a line and tell me how you clean up your berries, because it could take many, many, many hours just to clean them up. They come with all these little branches, and then you have to wash them and let the fresh ones float. I mean, the good ones sink to the bottom, and you want to skim the old ones off, and then there's bugs. It's really quite the process. So if you have an elderberry tree, you're totally blessed. It's a really sacred tree to have in your yard. And by the way, they are easily, you can propagate them. So that's another class that I could teach you on how to make elderberry cuttings. Because elderberries are one of those plants that I think everybody should have because of the elderberry syrup and the amazing health benefits that elderberries provide. What other things can you do with elderberries? Well, you can also make elderberry gummies. I mean, who doesn't want that? Maybe you could add some THC or CBD into those elderberry gummies and have a double hit of good stuff for inflammation. So if you're going to make that, you take your elderberry syrup and then you add some gelatin powder. And then you want to add hot water to that. And then you pour this mixture into a silicone tray, like a mold. And then you have your little gummies with elderberries. And that's a fabulous thing to give to your kids. And there's really hardly any sugar in that, just a little bit of honey, right? So kids are really going to love that. And then elderberry, I mean, not with the CBD though, okay? Just wanted to qualify. I mean the THC. And then the elderberry jam. That's another fabulous, delicious treat that you can add to your meals. So you're going to get these antioxidants with your breakfast. And that, again, is made with pectin. So you're going to do elderberries with water, lemon juice, pectin, and honey. And that's a really fabulous thing also. So you can get all your great antioxidants and your wonderful treats. So those are some of the things I wanted to share with you guys today. If anybody wants to call me on my cell phone, if they want to share anything else, I'm happy to hear. There is a proper line at some point. I will figure out how to do that through the computer, and I could take real calls because not everybody in the world has my cell phone, thank God. But it would be fun to get callers so I can see what you guys are thinking about and what you want to hear about. You can, of course, what I want people to do is like, subscribe, and sign up for my podcasts. Now, I'm streaming from santacruzvoice.com. We don't have right now an email list, but I want to get that going so we can gather everybody's emails. In the meantime, you can go to my website, which is jilltrotterman.com, or you can find me at santacruzholisticnutrition.com, and that is where you will find my blogs. I have upcoming classes and all kinds of stuff. But I will be back in 2 seconds. We have one little message to play. Okay, wasn't that fun? So we have a fun crew here at Santa Cruz Voice. We've got about 40 different podcasters, and I am blessed one of them. It's really a fun gig that I have and I get to do. Okay, before we end our show today, I wish everybody a happy, healthy, vibrant Thanksgiving. And next year is upon us before we know it. And my mission is to support you, your children, your families, in eating healthy and having good mental health, physical health, and spiritual health. So I like to do the whole mind, body, soul approach to eating. And I would like to incorporate that into people's education, into school systems. And if you will engage me for another few minutes, I wanted to share with you guys this food tree model I have created. The food tree rivals the United States food plate. I'm just going to say it. I would like my food tree to be incorporated into schools around the United States. It incorporates the 3 macronutrients based on my 5 food groups. So the macronutrients everybody needs to eat are proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And I'm saying people are super confused about what to eat. If you've been to the grocery store recently, which I'm sure most everybody has, you could see those aisles. Aisles and aisles are filled with all kinds of not healthy foods. When kids get stuck on these things, on white foods, it becomes addictive. Throw in the cell phones and all this, and I just feel for the parents out there. I want to be able to support you in teaching you as parents how to teach your kids how to eat healthy. I have an upcoming class. It's 6 weeks, and it starts in it starts next year, January 20th. And it's going to run for 6 weeks, as I mentioned. It's an hour and a half each time. And we're going to go through the 5 food groups. And also I'm going to talk about the nutrition vampires, which I'm going to talk about. I'm going to read those to you guys. And the reason parents are confused because our food model sucks. It is. It's corrupt. It's bought out, obviously, by big ag, big food, big pharma. They don't care about you. They don't care about what you're eating. They don't care about the quality of the food. So guess what? You have to take it into your own hands. And I want all of us to fight our school systems and to try to get the food tree in as a really healthy model of eating. Did you know that 50% of all schools have fast food restaurants in them? That's what our kids are eating, and they're facing that. It's not fun for a kid to have to face with that decision if that's what their food choices are. So come to my class. You can learn. You can even bring your kids. There's no short reason an older child could not attend with you. So I'm going to go over the 5 food groups. So my 5 food groups, you guys, are proteins are the roots of the tree. The trunk represents whole grains. So I like to teach the kids that their trunk of their body is like a tree. You want it to be strong yet flexible. And then the branches of the tree represents healthy fats. And sorry if everybody's heard this from me a million times. I'm just going to say it one more time. So the fats, we have fats on every cell of our body is made up of fat. Our cells. So fats are an incredibly important food group. It is a macronutrient. That is the one thing that's missing on the USDA food plate. They don't talk about fats. They villainize it, and that's what messes people up because people are confused on what to eat. Healthy fats are a vital, important part of everybody's diet, including saturated fats. And also on my food tree, the canopy of the tree are the fruits and the vegetables. So the vegetables represent the leaves, and then the fruits are the fruits. So I teach kids, when your kids eat all of their foods, they are vibrant enough to make fruit. It's a metaphor, right? So it is a gift that you can give not only to yourself, your family, and you give it to our community. It's up to each one of us to do our best to make this world a better place. So please join me and make that effort happen. January 20th through February 24th, the classes are on Zoom and they start at 10 a.m. and they run to 11:30 a.m. So it's just an hour and a half, 6 weeks. You're going to pretty much learn everything you need to know. Honestly, foundations of nutrition, basics, and it's going to set you up for a lifetime of success. So no more picky eating, no more freaking out at the dinner table, no more short order cook, no more microwave quick meals, no more door dashing. You are going to flip your way of eating and embrace it in this really holistic, beautiful, beautiful model. So we're going to incorporate the mind, the body, the soul. I'm not going to talk about the vampires right now because that's going to be kind of sad. And we're ending on a happy, fun note where we're celebrating all of the good foods out there. And there's so many beautiful foods. Go to your farmer's market. There's food banks also. People need extra help and support out there. There's plenty of food in the world. Do you know how many seeds a carrot makes? Thousands. How many seeds a pea plant makes? Hundreds. How many seeds a kale plant makes? Enough that my whole entire driveway is filled with kale and collard plants coming up through my cracks. So the planet is abundant. We are abundant. We are a loving human race. And I just want to say again, happy Thanksgiving and sending so much love out into the universe. Okay, big hugs, and I'll catch you guys next week.